Seems to be working again. I had a small heart attack. Okay, I think that's taking us live. Let me check. You were saying? Yeah, we're live. Okay.
Oh,
this is the pre-stream, guys. We had a small technical issue. I just got a pop-up that our live stream was not available, and me and Marcus were like, "Oh my God, no! Google, don't die on us again! Not now! Not on this day of days!" I'm gonna see whether we're actually online. We might be talking into the ether here. What do you think, Marcus? You ready for this?
I am set.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can see us. You can't see us, but I hope you can hear us and that the audio levels are fine, because we're not exactly sure that we are actually live. I'm going to post a little message on our Discord calling everyone in. Okay, so people can hear us, so that is correct. We're still 10 minutes off from the actual stream, so we're gonna just have a little chat while we wait. For those interested, I will post a link in the live chat. I am uploading high-resolution versions of my old projects to ArtStation. That means if you want like the desktop wallpaper versions of some of the stuff we did, then they're all on ArtStation now, so that's a good place to upload them and keep them.
Always.
Hello, Zach Smith. We got Romero Garza. We got all the regulars. 94 concurrent and climbing. 100 concurrent and climbing. Audio sounds good. That is awesome. I'm going to launch the at everyone. We are live in pre-stream. Launching the Divided States Animatic tonight. Well, today in some time zones. Boom and send. In case you haven't heard, this is the animatic release trailer, well, announcement trailer pre-stream. So we have an announcement trailer telling you all about, and we'll be talking about the new story of the upcoming Divided States Animatic series, if you will, the Kaiserreich Anime. I think I don't want to call it an anime, Marcus, because
we're not anime. Anime is a style, isn't it?
It's a style. It's also like full animation, and we're more of an animatic. So I like to call it an animated series, which is sort of kind of what we are.
It is. Cartoon sounds too soft as well. So
you can also ask questions in the animated series Q&A, which is our Discord, or we will be taking fan questions here, as well as watching the trailer early. Of course, this is the premiere live stream, and the full trailer release is about halfway through, as is our custom. This is our last content release of the year, 2020. It's time to close down. How was 2020 for you, Marcus?
Oh, dude, 2020 has been a roller coaster of ups and downs. It's been spending Christmas away from home for the first time, but thank God we live in a connected society, you know, Discord and all that stuff.
That's been a lot of Discord and video calls and Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like talking about Zoom, I have Douglas and Seferino Martinez in the. So we got Douglas Arndell joining us from Australia. Seferino Martinez. See, Alvin, what state are you in again? I keep forgetting.
From SoCal. Yes.
SoCal, right, California. So that will give us a nice even spread. We just need a few people from Asia now to make sure we cover all time zones. Let's Douglas, what time is it in Australia?
It's
like 7 in the morning, no? 8?
7, I think.
Okay, that's doable, right? Douglas is always the one of the team who is most screwed whenever we do anything in any time zone.
Yeah, it's become a joke in the content that I'm the one who left at everything because of the fucking time zone.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, so we are live in 5, guys.
Yeah, I'm eating breakfast, so
I'll take a look at that trailer. I'm looking forward
good
to
morning.
I'm eating breakfast. Yes, I'm eating breakfast. It's just eggs and sauce and an egg. And
that's good stuff, though.
Lovely breakfast.
Yeah, the hearty for any breakfast, really. But since I stayed up all night trying to get through the night, to get to this moment in time, I won't miss it.
Awesome.
No, we've been working on this for a while. But yeah.
It's great.
It is something. It is something.
Breakfast for champions.
Hopefully it goes well.
Hmm.
Sausage and eggs. 4:40 p.m. for me. Rambling.
I believe it is currently 2:41 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Ah.
Not too
Not
bad
too
for
shabby.
you. Like Vincent said, I'm screwed for anything.
Oh no, I feel that. I have friends in Australia. Playing with them in games is a bit of a not necessarily a chore for me, but definitely a chore for them.
I'm in New York right now. It's like 5 o'clock, right? 5:40,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, about 5:41 according to my clock. Anyway.
It's good. We're gonna get a lot of Americans.
Yes, the fellow Americans. Yes.
Yeah.
So we go to Belgium and free Asians.
Yeah, we do. But I live in Germany, so I'm sharing the same time zone as our fellow director. But yeah, I would be in Denmark right now, but because of Corona, I'm stuck in Germany.
Well, yeah, being in Europe during Corona is not good.
No. But at least Vincent's giving me a lot of work to do, so I
At
got
least I
something.
have Kaiserreich to look forward to, at least because I've been trying to rotate my game sessions for past December, and it's getting really not sure what to do.
I get you, man.
Yeah, for the first month for the first week of December I played a various games for Cyberpunk. Then for 2 weeks I played Cyberpunk, and then I switched to Rome 2 Total War.
It's a good game.
Nice.
Yeah,
The
Rome
first or
2 with
second? Rome 2. Oh, the second one then.
Well, with mods actually. I played
Ah.
with a mod called Divided States, which is made by this really awesome guy called Radius, and it changes the game massively. Mods are a good basis for any game, in my opinion. For any PC.
Total War is great for mods, personally.
Hmm.
All right.
Welcome
All
back,
right, guys.
Vincent.
Here's a tip. Do not play Factorio right before a live stream, because now I was thinking about how to optimize my old pump. Anyone here play Factorio?
I don't know.
Factoria is great.
Oh.
Factoria is honestly great. A little addictive.
I don't have Factoria,
It's
but I've
great.
been playing Rome 2.
Yeah, it's Factorio is great in the way that crack cocaine is great, and that it
Yep,
consumes
yeah.
your life.
No, Rome 2 for me. I've been staying all night playing Rome 2, trying to beat Carthage.
I'm not a fan of the Rome. Like, I want to try Total War. I think I have Rome. I think they gave it for free on the Epic Store or something.
Yeah,
It's like a
I
punchy
believe they
game.
gave the
Yeah.
second game for free. I know for me, Shogun was my favorite one. The second one, specifically the one with the Fall of the Samurai. You know, the
Yeah,
whole
awesome.
Boshin Civil War. Cool
Yeah,
stuff.
that in my opinion, I think Fall of the Samurai is one of the best expansion packs for any
Yeah.
Total War game ever.
Mm.
It's basically its own game.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
basically it has cannons, guns.
Okay, guys,
It's the fun
I have to interrupt you because we just turned live, so I have to say hi. Welcome. Do not adjust the settings on your computer machine. You did not misunderstand. This is the release of the announcement trailer of the Divided States Animatic animated series. If I may, the Kaiserreich Anime we promised. We said we would be home by Christmas. We barely made it. Me and Marcus, we were working on this thing until the last minute. Did some re-rolls. Yeah, did some great animation work from Marcus and great audio work from Marcus, and I'm also joined by the rest of the crew, as well as some of the actors who should be coming in later. We have cast everyone. We have a full cast. We have a story for the first 3 episodes, and that is going to be our 2021, because I doubt we will be able to make more than 3 episodes unless some magical Christmas thing happens. Merry Christmas to everyone. First off, welcoming Marcus Jurgensen, lead audio and animator on the Animatic project. How do I get you guys in gallery? Ah, this is how it works. And now you can see me. I should actually... I am going to stop my video, guys, so I can see who's talking in the Zoom call. It's going to be a little easier for people on live chat to know what's going on, as
Great.
well as check support this. There we go. Persistent menu gone. This should do it. All right, guys. We will be answering fan questions about the upcoming animated project. We will also be talking about our plans for 2021 in general. There will be another live stream somewhere in January called State of the Cinema, where we go a little deeper into our financial situation, which also goes into budgets that we have for next year and the projects that we want to do. I just had a very exciting meeting with Jordan and Lindsay from the live action team. We're also working on the Divided States team. We are considering a follow-up of George's story first, so that's the first thing you will probably see in the live action space in 2021. And this team, the wonderful, talented people I have with me, and then Jerome Schultz is joining us, will be working on the animated project at the same time. So these are different timelines, different storylines, but all within the team of the Divided States. Jerome, welcome to our little Zoom call. You might be muted if you just joined the Zoom call. So you might want to check if you're unmuted.
That's unmuted. Can you hear me now?
We can
Perfect.
hear you loud and clear, Jerome. Thank you for joining us. Jerome is one of our voice actors for the Animatic project that we are announcing. Jerome, can you tell us a little bit about the roles you are playing?
I am. Oh my God! I'm blocking. Wait a minute. I'm playing the role of a German officer yet to be unnamed, and a Southern politician named Pelfrey.
Yes, Pelford.
Pelford, thank you. Sorry.
So you will
I'm
be
running in from another meeting, so
Yeah, I totally get that.
that's me.
You will.
I've got an identity crisis too.
I'll pop up, open my video for a minute, Jerome. I turn it off because I'm live streaming at the same time. So basically, my live stream camera is blocking my webcam view. But we're having a little bit of a Christmas cheer going on in here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm already getting fan questions. Give me first 5 minutes so we can actually look at the trailer before we get into those questions. How does that sound, guys? So I'm going to ask everyone to make sure you do not make a sound while we play the trailer. The Divided States version 29 trailer render 3.
All this
I am somewhat certain this is the version that we ended up with, Marcus. Help me out here.
I don't know anymore.
It's yeah. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my webcam. That did not do anything. Oh wait, no, I need to do video capture device. Okay, that is a full screen. Take over. There we go. There should only be my thing and then no music. Yes, this should do it. Alright guys, this is the world premiere of the Divided States animated series. Looks like Brendan just got here in the middle. This is the world premiere of the Divided States Animatic series. Brandon, you just joined the Zoom room. Just give us 5 minutes. We are playing the trailer to the live stream audience, so we need some radio silence right now. The world premiere, let's try once more. World premiere of the Divided States Animatic, the animated series we are working on. 26 episodes planned. The first 3 are planned for 2021. And this is a brief overview of our story and the specific timeline in which our events happen. Enjoy.
all this death for some German bomb?
These are the only plans outside the Kaiserreich. This weapon will change everything. We can restore the balance of power.
Whatever is left of the government is in LA. That's a 3,000-mile drive through a war zone. This is a suicide mission. We'll never make it.
We have to make it.
Crisis in Wall Street as widespread economic collapse grips the eastern states. New York enters its third week of riots and burning. National Guard troops have been sent in. Nationalist marches have gripped the South as several states threaten to declare independence from a
Failing union. Why go through all this trouble to rescue this crowd scientist? Why not turn him into the syndicates?
The syndicates can't have this weapon. I believed in the revolution. I believed the propaganda, the lies, and it cost me everything I held dear. I failed to see the monster we were creating. I was blind. We all were.
suspected and anarchist bombing of the Chicago Board of Trade has left the building with extensive damage. The National Field last-ditch offensive has led to a military takeover. State of emergency declared by a Congress held at gunpoint.
What the hell happened here?
The Germans happened.
What are the Germans doing in Louisiana?
We invited them. Peace and stability in the region, they called it. An expeditionary force. Legion Raven. You two need to realize, once the Germans find out we have their bomb, they will hunt us down. They will chase us to the ends of the earth. They will stop at nothing. The Raven Legion is ruthless.
Government troops soundly defeated. The syndicates have seized Chicago and declared the combined syndicate states. Chairman Reed has declared open war against the Union.
All this death for some German bomb?
This is not just any bomb, Emily. I was there. This weapon will change everything.
You have no idea what I've lost.
Everyone has lost people, Emily. You're not the only one who is entitled to pain.
Washington has fallen. A complete breakdown of the central authority in the United States seems inevitable as state
Brothers and sisters, do not believe the lies that you are told on the news. We can still cleanse America. We will cast down this republic of sin and win the Second American Civil War.
Will you be a lousy scab, or will you be a man?
Thank you for watching the Divided States announcement trailer. The Divided States is an alt history noir animatic based on the world of Kaiserreich. 4 unlikely heroes must make a harrowing journey across a war-torn United States. Their cargo? Plans for a devastating weapon that will change the face of the 20th century. Project Luderitz. I am Vincent Tenil, an artist with a passion for alt history and founder and director of Kaiserreich Cinema. The Divided States is made by a small indie team of artists, actors, and generously funded through the sale of merchandise and patron contributions. We want to thank our 100 plus patrons and close to 5,000 yearly webshop customers for their continued support and enthusiasm for the project. Please consider supporting us by buying some of our original art prints or joining our Patreon program. As you can see in the screen below me, patrons can make cameo appearances in our art and animations as part of their rewards package. Visit our Patreon page for more information and join the crew. Will you join us on our mission? We ask that you spread the word and back the attack. Thanks for your time, and I will see you in the new year, cats. Alright, so that was The Divided States. The animatic trailer, we'll give it another watch in a few minutes. I want to talk to some of the crew first and then see what you guys thought about it. So, Brendan, thank you and welcome to our little Zoom room. You will see there's a bit of a camera in my webcam view here. That's because I'm live streaming this as well, and that's the main camera doing all the heavy lifting. So, are you guys watching the live stream on a second monitor? You might not have the link. Actually, I'll post it to you guys. 100.
I'm watching it on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I'm watching the live stream right now. It's on my feed.
We're gonna be a few minutes behind. Usually it's about 1 minute 30 seconds of catch-up time that you need, so you can see the live stream. Here's a quick link to that. So guys, that was the trailer. We had 200 people watching that concurrently. As you guys heard, that was Jerome Schultz at the end doing our best Belford. I keep mixing up Belford and Langdon, Jerome. It's definitely an issue. Our Belford impression, wonderful work, Jerome. And then we have Brendan McGrady, who is playing Albert Brandsteiner, our German scientist. And normally we will be joined by Lucas Webley, who plays Sawyer. And Amy Seville, who plays... Oh, that's Courtney Weldon. I think that's one of the crew. Amy Saville will not be joining us today. She plays the heroine of the story. She plays Emily Faulkner, but she is not available. She is away with family, so we wish her a happy holiday, and we hope to invite her to a future live stream. Need to check whether I've got all my audio levels correct. Okay, I think that's all correct. Courtney Weldon.
It's Luke. It's my girlfriend.
I was assuming. Have you?
How do I check
that? All right. So Courtney Weldon is actually Lucas Webley, guys.
I have. How do you change your name on this thing?
I have no idea. I think that's actually a login thing. Like you need to log in, but I think people will get that you're Luke. So
I mean, I don't look much like a Courtney. It's an asexual name, I guess.
Yeah. So we've got the entire main cast together, with the exception of Amy Saville. As I said, Amy's on holiday, so we wish her happy holidays. We will invite her to a later live stream to talk a bit about her character, about Emily Faulkner and Isabel Faulkner. She plays both sisters. So I want to open up the floor to our wonderful cast and crew here. I will ask you guys some questions. I'm also taking questions from the live chat, so make sure that you ask questions if you want to know anything about the upcoming short film. I will also be showing some of the art and the concepts we've been working on for the first episode. I also have a couple of shots from that production if you are interested, my dear audience. First off, Lucas.
Hi.
I'm seeing a lot of guitars back there. Like, are you? Can you talk a little bit more about that? I think that's an interesting.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I've been playing guitar since I was about 15 years old. Haven't improved much since then, but I'm an identical twin, and he's the real guitarist.
Really? That's interesting.
We both play with guitar together. We have done since we had a garage band when we were teenagers, and I think we're around 42 now. So we've been playing for a long time. And again, I haven't really developed much since then. I used to play live when it was allowed in venues around my hometown. But the real guitarist, like I say, is my brother. He's very talented. Mm-hmm. But I'm more of I function as a backing track for him mainly.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's interesting because you are playing a bit of a country rock character in this show. You are playing Paul Sawyer, our American Union State commando who goes rogue and then ends up joining forces with the party, betraying his former comrades in arms, I would say. Could you tell us a little bit more about the character you're playing and sort of what your take is on him?
Well, I see him as a, well, not a wholesome character, but he's got a certain fundamental integrity. Even though he might not always make the most moral decisions, it's like a conflicted character is what I feel he is.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely someone with attempting to, I would say, keep himself to some sort of morality in a world where there is very little morality. Like the Divided States is set in a very dark timeline of a protracted war already happening within the Kaiserreich universe. So there's an enormous amount of destruction and as well as set pieces that we're going to visit with the animatic show. So the thing I said when we did the live action was the live action is definitely going to play it closer to home with small interior scenes, lower budgets, because we simply we cannot do visual effects. It's going to be too complex for us. But if we talk about like animated things, then we can do a lot of really cool stuff. Like I'm thinking what we definitely want is sweeping vistas, sort of that Americana, the large battle scenes, chases. Like there's a lot of really cool things visually that we've never explored in terms of that topic, the Second American Civil War in this universe we've built, that I think will be very interesting to see within the animated series. Speaking of Brendan, you are playing Albert Brandsteiner, the German scientist. Can you tell us a little bit more about the character?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I sort of see Albert as someone who has seen a lot, knows how bad the world can get, and he is obviously looking out for himself, but I believe that he is trying to find how he can still be a good person in this world. And how he can help people from destroying themselves. Yeah.
So we're not going to reveal too much about Albert, as you know, there's a bit of a hook with that character that is only revealed not even in the first 3 episodes. So definitely you're gonna have a little card up your sleeve for the future episodes. Then I want to talk a little bit to our crew, our wonderful. We have our researcher here. We also have Marcus Jurgensen, who does our animation and audio work. First off, Douglas, could you talk a little bit about the base research that went into the Divided States Animatic and where the Divided States differs from the normal Kaiserreich scenarios that we see?
Oh, yeah. The basis of the Divided States is that the Civil War that is featured in the show, the animatic, in the Kaiserreich timeline, it starts immediately after the 1936 election, which is March 1937. But in the timeline of the Divided States, it starts in 1938, after the year-long presidency of John Nance Gardner, a real politician. And the way that the states break up is also different, is that it is not just a clear separation, but it's a situation similar to what we saw in the first American Civil War, where it's chaos and the lines change a lot, and then it just it takes a few months for everything to coagulate together into some sort of formation battle line. But even then, no one knows who to trust, where they're going. Everyone's moving around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would consider the basis. Yes.
I think that's definitely something we want to explore in the animated series, is the idea. And if you guys go to our channel, you will see we have a Flame. So Gabriel, he did a talk when we went to Berlin to PDXCon on the Chinese Civil War, which was a big inspiration for us, the Chinese and Spanish Civil Wars, which happened in history. He talks a lot about non-state actors, in the sense that in the Hearts of Iron Moth, that this is all based on, there can only be like a nation splitting off from another nation. That is not necessarily how that works in real life, where there's a much higher degree of complexity going on within all these factions. So what I definitely would like to focus on with the Divided States is the idea of state governors going rogue, like going independent, while nominally part of a bigger coalition. So we might be seeing, for example, Louisiana or Tennessee being under the banner of the Union States, but only very loosely, with the National Guard being used to protect the home state and the governors thinking of, I need to protect my people and I'm trying to keep us out of this war. So that concept of belonging to a single faction that is clear and defined is not always there. There's also a really cool scene we are considering with a federal holdout in Texas, Fort Riley, I think, or Fort Bradley. That was Fort Riley, right? North of Texas?
Fort Riley's in Kansas, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Kansas, yeah.
Yeah, so basically we're thinking of doing a cool scene where our characters pass a federal holdout, they try and find some... we just got a $10 donation from... Alvin, is that you? Alvin, you're already in this call, like how should I shout you out?
Thanks, Alvin.
Hey, no, I just wanted to just give out a $10.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, welcome.
So Alvin is already a patron, so he's in this call. These calls are open to patrons. So I'm going to start answering some questions that we are getting from live. I need to scroll up a whole bunch because we got 150 people in here. New York asks, is there a radio coming out soon? That is actually a good question. I am not sure, because Alex is the director of that show. I know he has something written. He definitely has ideas for the next 4 or 5 episodes. I'm not sure where he is on production of a radio episode right now. I should ask him. What I do in general is I go by all our production channels and be like, hey guys, like what's the status of this project you're working on? I will have a little bit more information then. I think what we will be seeing before a new radio show is another audio comic made by Flamefang, and Alex is also working on that. As you can see here in this trailer as well, Alex is appearing in the Divided States Animatic as well as Nicholas Faircrest, because whatever the timeline is, Nicholas Faircrest is an eternal character. He does not, whatever happens, there will be a Nicholas Faircrest. So, scrolling up. Yes, Wilson Ribeiro Filo asks a question that we just were discussing, Douglas, which is how long has the Civil War been dragging on for? So that would be 2 years at the start of this show, which would be 1938 to 1940. And the show...
That's correct, yeah.
If my timeline is correct, and we're still tweaking this, the show starts in winter of 1940, close to spring. So we'll be starting in Chicago with the last snow of winter, and then as our cast moves south, so they'll be traveling through a lot of America. You'll see that weather like go hot, humid as we get into the central Midwest, and then it actually gets cold again as we go back up into the mountains, into the Rocky Mountains, into the Pacific states. So we'll talk a little bit more about the journey we have planned and all the states these characters will be visiting. It's definitely going to be a large tour. It is in my essence, what I consider to be a road trip story. A very strange road trip still, but there is an essence of a road trip there. Marcus, could you talk a little bit to the animation aspect of the Divided States? What's your method? Like, how are you working with these frames that you're getting?
So one of the unique features of the YouTube channel is that we're working on a limited budget, but we want to tell a lot of stories, right? So we have to compromise with how we animate. It's not like conventional animation where it's frame by frame, but it's animatics. So they are the basis of like the motions of what's trying to be told through the frames are there. So if a character is falling, that will be animated, but everything else would be still. But so it's a lot of like they say, creativity comes from working within limitations, and we have to do a lot of that in how we animate.
I just got a pop-up that my Zoom, I need to upgrade my Zoom. Just a minute, I need to set up the, what was that thing? I need an annual...
Reminds me of that quote, necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Need to make sure I upgrade this or Zoom is going to kick us out of this room in just a minute. Yes.
Oh, just by the way, Jerome and Brendan, I loved your reads last time we crossed paths.
Yeah, same to you. No, I did.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm very excited about all this.
That was definitely very cool auditions that we did. We ended up seeing. There we go. We now have unlimited minutes, so thank you, Zoom. Well, not thank you, Zoom. We just paid them, but make sure that the invoices. We're trying to keep the lights on here. On that front, I'm seeing another super chat. So Ali is seeing that we need that Zoom Pro subscription. He's immediately coming in with $5. He also asks, so thanks for the super chat, Ali. He also asks, are we going to see the American Caesar, Douglas MacArthur, go to absolute victory? The answer is no. MacArthur dies. Oh my god, that was.
Well, he's not even technically named MacArthur in the story. He's named something I chose out of McAllister. Yeah, he chose because it was like a copyright issue, but yeah, we chose alternate names for every major leader.
I haven't fully written up, but my idea is definitely that he's going to die fairly early on in the show, because that's one of the things I think that needs to happen for the scenario in the Divided States that we get, which is Union State and combined syndicates having control of the entire eastern coast. For that scenario to work, we actually need MacArthur out of the picture. So maybe he fled, maybe he's dead. We're not exactly sure. We're gonna do a writer's room about that. It's gonna be interesting.
He's gone. He disappeared. They say MacArthur
only comes with Christmas if you've been a good boy. So someone asked, what is going to be the time frame between episodes? We are planning on releasing 3 episodes together. So we're just going to take the entirety of 2021 to work on these 3 episodes and then release the 3 together, and then we'll take another year, do another 3 episodes. I would love to do more episodes, but I think considering our budget and team, it is going to be unlikely that we will be able to do more than 3 episodes in a year's time. We're still figuring out our speed of production. Maybe we can, if we get extra patrons, the web shop picks up a little bit, maybe we can get another theme in for the Divided States. So that is definitely something we're looking into for 2021. So that was a question by Omar Bradley. Now I am looking for Cactus Jack wins. No, Christopher, that is not, unfortunately. Yes, so Chris Hirios asks, I assume the faction with the bombers belong to the Commonwealth of America, but it seems that the Union State exists. Does that mean there is going to be a civil war within the American Union State during the Second American Civil War? That's actually very perceptive. That is correct. So we will be seeing the plot that sees Pelford. I was gonna say Langdon, Jerome.
Yeah, Pelford. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying Langdon. But there's going to be this conflict between Huey Long and Pally in this animation. They're called Belford and Langdon, so we'll be translating some of those names, which sees him deposed. And that was actually the scene that we played out. Lucas, were you there for that part when we did all the Langdon scenes?
Yeah, I believe I was, yeah.
Yeah, where Langdon and Belford end up like facing each other, which I thought was a really cool scene. That's gonna happen sometime later in the story. But we are seeing Belford with that support. We're seeing another super chat, by the way, by the Bitter Seal. Oh, here we go. That's we got another known donation for Zoom license. There we go. Bitter Steel, $25. He just gave us a Zoom license. Thank you for that, Bitter Steel. This is we definitely need Zoom more and more, as it's a little easier to use than Discord for the people that do not have Discord pre-installed. He says, living in Kansas City, it's been fun seeing the lore of my city being a frontline fortress area for multiple factions. Excellent work all. So here we go. That is from the Bitter Steel. Thank you for your support. So Jerome, I would like to ask you a little bit more about the characters you play. You are both playing the German commander, which is as of yet unnamed. So that's a little bit more conceptual at this point because he doesn't actually appear until episode 3. The one thing that I can say is that I think the appearance of your character at the end of episode 3 is probably the coolest part of the show that I think we've written so far. Sort of where he makes his reveal as being the villain of the next 3 episodes, like the main antagonist that is chasing the heroes after episode 3. I'll send you that after this Zoom call. It's a really, really nice scene that we've written for you. So, German commander, you also have a lieutenant. I think we played that scene in the auditions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we did for Jerome.
Yeah,
that was right.
That's correct. Could you tell me a little bit more about the German commander character?
Well, for me, the German commander role is an interesting one because when I grew up in Ohio, which is an influence on both of these roles, one of the things that happened in Ohio was that my father ran an Army-Navy surplus store. So the DJ who worked in the corner would call me in at about age 12 to advertise our products of the week. So we had at that point German surplus in the store because the war obviously was over and you could get it. So I got to go on and do these outrageous bits about come in and buy the German Mausers and everything you could buy, ammunition and uniforms. We had everything, it brought back the old days very quickly. So that was one inspiration. So I have that kind of voice and character in my head. I was a fat little kid in school, not very popular, but when I went on the radio on Saturday mornings, I became instantly popular with all my friends. So it made me cool. So that's how I got my start.
It's great to hear that because one of the things we are trying to revive with Kaiserreich Cinema is that concept of radio plays. We do a lot of purely audio shows. We have both a radio show called Kaiserreich Radio. You should check it out. Those are 1 hour long episodes, purely audio. They're music. They're written by one of our colleagues, an actor from London. He does really amazing work, very creative person, and he does these basically BBC dramas within this alternate history as well. We also have motion comics. Motion comics is basically a step down from what we call this animatic. It only has usually one illustration, but then it is a 10-minute story, and we've made one which is very popular. It's called Nights in Shanghai, and it's set in the seedy underbelly of the Shanghai underworld. So that's basically, we love working with audio and voice actors as we are illustrators and animators, and then with you and our powers combined, we can create full shows, all from the comforts of our home, which unfortunately is now a necessity because of COVID, but that was not the original intention. That would have been a good story, like if this was originally planned to be live action, but then COVID happened, so we're like, okay, everyone go home, we're doing this thing on Zoom.
Well, that's where a lot of voice actors have been very fortunate, really, myself included, and it hasn't really interrupted my workflow because I work from home generally anyway.
Yeah, I think everyone that's in the space where they have home studios, they have home recording setups, both 2D animation, like whatever field you're in, it's definitely like, it's less of an impact, but I think obviously like the general lockdown of everything is just not great. I mean, I'm not sure what the...
Oh, for sure, I'm not saying it's a cool thing.
No. I think that it hurts because it hurts the general economy. It's definitely hurting even the home workers.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe indirectly, but we'll probably, like, I used to do a lot of freelancing work, but then this whole pandemic happened, which means a lot of that like just disappeared pretty much within the second quarter of this year. But then within each of these crises, there is that crises? Is that a thing? Is there
Crises.
Crisis. Is it crisis? Okay.
Yeah, crises, yes.
Crises.
I cannot always do the English. I think there's an opportunity in every crisis. So because I lost that freelance work, it means I suddenly had a lot more time to pursue this project with. So we probably wouldn't have seen the trailer this year or having all of the things done that we've done this year if there wasn't that COVID pandemic. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. So now we have to consider, like, do we want to stay in Kaiserreich Cinema? Do we want to create this original work for our community, or are we going to go back to the client work as soon as that economy picks back up? My hope is that we can definitely, because of the way Patreon's been growing, it's been really good, as well as the web shop, that we can definitely make sure that we keep up this level of content production. I think we finally reached that point where we are making a lot of original content and doing a lot of different shows, a lot of teams working independently. I'm super happy with the work we've done this year. And I will speak a little bit more about that in our next live stream. Want to bounce it back to you, Jerome. And first, I'm going to check live chat for a minute because it's scrolling by so fast. Rambling Rattlesnake asks whether we will make a video of the Republic of Texas. And no, but we might have some Texas appearance in the animatic. How does that sound, Rambling? Scrolling down. A lot of people disappointed that McAllister MacArthur is going to die in the show. That is not 100% certain. It is 95% certain. So, like, prepare yourself. Steal your horsemen.
Well, the reason why McAllister's out of the picture because Washington falls, so that's obvious.
So, if we see like a strange man in a hat, might be MacArthur after all. Like, is he forever?
Don't forget the what do you call it? I forgot what's called. Something you smoke tobacco out of. Like,
pipe.
No, it's not. Yeah, pipe. Yeah, his pipe. Yeah, his pipe.
Of course. So first, before we continue, I would like to give everyone another look at the trailer because it's 5 minutes, so we're going to. So I need another 5 minutes of radio silence, and then we'll enter the second part of this live stream.
All this death.
All right, playing the trailer for you guys.
For some German bomb?
All
this death. For some German bomb?
These are the only plans outside the Kaiserreich. This weapon will change everything. We can restore the balance of power.
Whatever is left of the government is in LA. That's a 3,000-mile drive through a war zone. This is a suicide mission. We'll never make it.
We have to make it.
Crisis in Wall Street as widespread economic collapse grips the eastern states. New York enters its third week of riots and burning. National Guard troops have been sent in. Nationalist marches have gripped the South as several states threaten to declare independence from a failing union.
Why go through all this trouble to rescue this crowd scientist? Why not turn him into the syndicates?
The syndicates can't have this weapon. I believed in the revolution. I believed the propaganda, the lies, and it cost me everything I held dear. I failed to see the monster we were creating. I was blind. We all were.
Suspected anarchist bombing of the Chicago Board of Trade has left the building with extensive damage. The National Field last-ditch offensive has led to a military takeover. State of emergency declared by a Congress held at gunpoint.
What the hell happened here?
The Germans happened.
What are the Germans doing in Louisiana?
We invited them. Peace and stability in the region, they call it. An expeditionary force. Legion Raven. You two need to realize, once the Germans find out we have their bomb, they will hunt us down. They will chase us to the ends of the earth. They will stop at nothing. The Raven Legion is ruthless.
Government troops soundly defeated. The syndicates have seized Chicago and declared the combined syndicate states. Chairman Reed has declared open war against the Union.
All senseless death for some German bomb?
This is not just any bomb, Emily. I was there. This weapon will change everything.
You have no idea what I've lost.
Everyone has lost people, Emily. You're not the only one who is entitled to pain.
Washington has fallen. A complete breakdown of the central authority in the United States seems inevitable as state
Brothers and sisters, do not believe the lies that you are told on the news. We can still cleanse America. We will cast down this republic of sin and win the Second American Civil War.
Will you be a lousy scab, or will you be a man?
There we go. That was the trailer. Again, I think it should be live in 8 minutes. Thank you for watching The Divided. Should be live in 8 minutes on the channel as well. If I can get the main link up. Let me see. This is my. Oh, here we go. All right. So we will be answering some fan questions for the next 25 minutes, guys. I wanted to keep this live stream short and sweet, so 25 minutes, and then we're out. So that is all the time that we have for tonight.
I managed to change my name on the thing, by the way.
Oh, you did. You can. How do you do that in Zoom? Is that like right click?
You go to like participants, and then you get to rename in the participants menu.
Oh, okay. No idea.
Can I apologize for this sprig of hair that's up, by the way? I was wearing a Santa hat all day. It kind of messed with my hair.
COVID hair.
So Jerome, you sent me a message here that you're aware that you don't see my whole face. That's because there's this is the camera doing the live stream, so it's in your way, but in the live stream it's actually centered nicely. It's a little bit of technology. We've got a webcam and a live stream camera. We've got 2 lights. Got a microphone here. There's a lot of text surrounding me. It's actually very hard for me to move. I have to be very careful, or I'm going to knock off something, have the power cut off, which has happened before.
I got this weird light under me. It looks like I'm opening the Ark of the Covenant or something.
I think it's a nice dramatic lighting. I had the idea this idea of having some kind of you can buy these LED strips online and having them here to the side, so I could make the room really, really dark, and then make it very dramatic. What ended up happening is I have a friend who has a really big YouTube channel. He teaches people how to make videos in Premiere Adobe. So he runs basically an online course, an online academy. That's Inyas Alia. He lives in Ghent, and I know he has a lot of gear. So I called him. I said, Inyas, do you have any gear that you think we have a small channel that you think we could use? And he's like, yeah, I've got tons of stuff. Went to his place. We made a video about it. It was really cool. I had a little fun over at his place, checking out some of the gear. We got all his leftovers, which was enough to staff a full studio at a very, very reasonable budget.
Nice.
We got another super chat donation from Darkblade, which is 10 Australian dollary doos.
Dollary doos.
I'm from South Australia. I would love to know if there's any plan of making a video of the Australasia Confederation. Elsa says, I bought the Australasia flag from your website and my mate loves it. So thank you for that support, Darkblade. So Australasian Confederation, World of Kaiserreich videos he's talking about, not planned right now. We have a plan ready for the future World of Kaiserreich videos, and they will be in this order. Drumroll. World of Kaiserreich Russia, World of Kaiserreich National France, then a Discord game to decide between either a Balkan country or Middle Eastern country or Iran. I'm not exactly. It's going to be an Ultimate Team Discord game, and the winning team will basically have their faction. They will get stickers, and their faction will decide which World of Kaiserreich video will get made. Probably be that faction's country, obviously. So Klaus Elberg asks if Einstein is involved in the story. Einstein is not involved in the story. Let's see a bunch more questions here. Yes, I cannot pronounce his name because it's an emoji, but emoji nickname says, is Japan going to make an appearance? Yes, Japan is going to make an appearance, but Japan will be democratic in this timeline, and they will be supporting the Pacific States government with expeditionary forces. We thought that was a really cool take on that. So Japan is not an antagonist in this particular series. AOS Soldier asks, will Russia make an appearance in the animated series? Not directly. We have an idea of using volunteers to tell small stories of other countries by having them appear in the show and then be like, ah yes, but in my country, you know. I was thinking of having some Belgians in there, you know, Belgian, Wallonia. They're always sneaking in there.
We will touch upon Sawyer's background and his involvement in the Russian Civil War.
Yeah, I totally forgot about. Yeah, it's all in Russia. Right.
Yeah.
So Marcus reminding me of the story we actually wrote. So yeah, actually Russia makes a lot of appearances through Sawyer's backstory. Lucas, maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
I mean, I'd rather leave it in Marcus's hands. He's the expert, really. But like, I'm just looking forward to sinking my teeth into the role.
Yeah, totally. You wanna do the bit, Marcus?
So Sawyer went to the Russian Civil War under like this ideological, fervor, basically. And of course, it doesn't go his way, the Russian Civil War. It ends quite bloodily. And he returns to the Americas, having changed. So we also touch upon about his background and why he decides to, get involved in the American Civil War after what happened in Russia.
So for those of you who've been with the channel for a while, you will know that Sawyer and Emily are actually, those are the characters from the world of Kaiserreich, American Unity and Combined Syndicates. That's basically where this entire project started. Is we looked at those videos and those characters were very popular, and we were like, hey, what if these characters had an actual show and an actual story that continued after the point in time where they do the narration on this video. That became what we call Project Pianist. And then later it became the Divided States as a series, and then the live action thing got involved and became a huge thing. Huge, guys. Abid Mahdi asks, is there going to be an Anglo-American Union? I'm not sure. That is not a Kaiserreich thing. Rambling Rattlesnakes asks again whether Texas, will we do a video on Texas? We will not do a video on Texas because that is not part of the base lore of the universe. But they might make an appearance in the animated series. Let's see. Ian G asks, I've played Kaiserreich for so long, how have I never heard of you guys until now? The algorithm is broken. The algorithm is not doing us any favor, Ian, but we are patient and we are here always, so that means eventually people will find us, people that love this specific thing that we do, which is telling stories within the world of Kaiserreich. So I'm not worried about that. Yasir Ahmed asks, will other theaters of the world be looked over at other than mentioned? So, Marcus, as you just said, we have Russia appearing in flashbacks. We have, through the backstory of Brandon's character, of Albert Brandsteiner, we have your character. We will have some scenes which happen in Africa, in the German colonial empire in this timeline, where basically you go for that atom bomb testing. That is the part of the trailer where you see your character in that airplane, he's flying over that fleet, and then he's in this desert where there's an atom bomb being tested. That is why we call it Project Luderitz, because Luderitz is a city in Namibia, which in this timeline is still part of the old German monarchy, their colonial empire, and their testing area, rather than being done at the Trinity site in the US, is actually being done within the larger German empire, within the deserts there. And that is appearing.
If I can add a moment something, we chose Luderitz because it was a very small town on the edge of a large desert, and it's next to the sea. So it would be a great establishing shot of the German fleet off the coast of Namibia with the plane flying over it, and the bomb and there's like a hill next to Luderitz, so that could be that's where all the half tracks and the cameras are popped up, and that's when the bomb goes up in the desert, and it's like a very dramatic shot like this.
I'm actually popping it open on the screen right now. You guys don't have access to my screen, but the live stream audience will see it. So the top picture that I'm showing, guys, is Luderitz in Namibia. It's a city about, I want to say 150 kilometers south of Windhoek or north. Not exactly sure, but look at that this is like straight out of Google Maps. Look at that beautiful rock cropping and that small church. I think it's a church building, I'm not sure, on top. And we were like, what if there was a big science facility there, like very dramatic sort of shot that we're gonna do. Then the atom bomb is being tested some 300 kilometers inwards, where there is only desert, and it's a good chance for the German Empire to sort of do their weapons testing. Albert Brandsteiner is there. He then sees these weapons, he steals them with the intention of giving them to the loyalist American government. He travels to the United States. Unfortunately, he does so in 1938, right when the Civil War happens. So he ends up in New York, landing at the exact moment that the city is being taken over by the CSA, gets captured. And so in the beginning of the first episode of the show, we find Albert Brandsteiner forcibly working for the combined syndicates in basically a lab prison, right? So he's forced to continue his research on this weapon for the combined syndicates in the lab, not being allowed to leave. And then he plans his great escape. This coincides with Emily also having to escape from Red Guards chasing her. They meet each other and they decide to make a getaway together, and that is actually the start of the show. Then Lucas, we have your character showing up a little bit later as they run into him. Then through the various shenanigans that happen in our show, decide to make that journey together with the idea of giving the atomic bomb plans to a friend of Albert Brandsteiner who would be in Los Angeles. So they need to get all the way south. You guys know that Uno card meme where people be like, do this or draw 25 cards? Like the joke image that's sometimes sent around. I've made one which shows Albert Brandsteiner be like, just give the bomb to Canada or draw 25 cards, right? So because instead of like just going straight over the Great Lakes, he's like, no, we have to go all the way south, to travel 3,000 miles to go to Los Angeles, because he's against he has very personal reasons of not giving that weapon to the Canadians. So we are entering the last 10-12 minutes of the live stream. So if you guys have questions for us, I would like to hear it all from you now. I'm seeing a lot of attacks. Rambling Rattlesnake asks, what side does Texas take during the Second American Civil War? So Texas joins a Union state, although there are many federal holdouts at the start of the series. Then will New England be featured in the series or not be visited on the westward road trip? So yes, Pirel, as you mentioned, there's a bit of an issue there because they're going west and south. New England is very much north and east. I was thinking of doing some kind of cameo with maybe New England volunteers, but I'm not sure how I'm going to sort of get that in there because of the geography. Most of the show, we got another $10 donation from Jonathan Gordon. He asks, will Mexico and Canada be making an appearance in the story? Yes, they do make an appearance because obviously there's refugees fleeing into Canada and Mexico, and we will be seeing some of that as well as these characters pass by on their American road trip. I was answering a question about New England. So because of the geography, New England doesn't really appear within this short specifically, although they are mentioned, and maybe through volunteers we could have something. I think some of the more interesting characters that we will have in our show are the ones that are not necessarily tied to any nation or ideology. I think the one episode that I'm definitely looking forward for is the Governor episode, where they go to Louisiana. The characters meet this crazy mercenary type. Like, think the I can't find the character's name. I'll get you guys some references later. It's a really cool idea of a scene that we have, and this really violent, really insane antagonist of that episode, and maybe episode 2 or 3 after it. And a question from Rachel Hobson: what about the family in the live-action movie? So we will not have the characters from the live-action in the animatic, at least not in the current concept that we have, because there's also a different timeline. So the live-action movie is a slightly different timeline from what's happening in the animatic, and a slightly different timeline from what's happening in the world of Kaiserreich. We're exploring this idea of multiple timelines being possible. So they will not make an appearance. They will make an appearance, of course, in future live-action projects, which Jordan is working on, and very interesting. We have discussed ideas of having George appear in different timelines where he makes different choices, Victoria as well. Maybe even a timeline where the events of the movie, the short film, The Divided States Strife, do not actually happen, but the family decides to stay together and flee northward into Canada. I think that would be a very cool short, and that is probably possible with the equipment and team that we have available in Chicago. Cadet Klinge asks, does Canada support a side in the war, or are they not involved? So Canada supports Yes, Canada ends up supporting the Pacific states, but only after some time within the show. So at the beginning of the show, Canada is very much a neutral country, trying to sort of stay out of that mess.
Which fits in with the canon Kaiserreich timeline. When the Civil War breaks out, Canada usually stays out of it until a definitive happens, and they usually support either the Federals or the Pacific States, and they usually either annex or chop up New England to fit their purposes because they're trying to entente stuff. But that's what usually happens with Canada, and I think staying Canada just looking down at the South and seeing what the hell is going on would be the reasonable position in this case, in my opinion at least, and within my research, if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely. So we're seeing that Canada will follow traditional Kaiserreich lore in that aspect. There's a bunch of people asking, like, will the show visit there's a lot of interest in other countries, other regions. So not within the Divided States Animatic, because that is specifically a project about the Second American Civil War and America within this universe. Obviously, we have the World of Kaiserreich series, and we have all those other projects going on. If you would like to see more about Asia, some people are posting here, I would go check out the Nights in Shanghai motion comic series. If you want to see more about the world in general, then I would definitely recommend the Kaiserreich radio series, which is a series that touches all world events. I think Alex did a wonderful job writing that series and directing that series. Marcus, could you talk a little bit about the audio for this show? Like, what are we doing in terms of engineering? How are we seeing the way the show sounds?
So, in a real world environment, we would have our voice actors, coalesce and perform. But because of COVID and other such factors, we have voice actors all around the world. We have Amy, who's in South Africa. We have Lucas in Britain. We have Brendan and Jerome in America. And so we have to try and record and work in a standard that's of high quality, that's uniform. So regardless of where they are or how it's being recorded, the end result would be a quality we can accept.
Yeah, so I think that we have the partner Epidemic. I think is a really, really good team to work with, really good organization, because their licensing fees are actually really, really reasonable against all the sort of sound effects and music that we're finding on there. What we will have is a really awesome intro track, guys. We will have a Johnny Cash cover. We found, I think it's a Think Up Anger cover, or it's from the Dark Western album, but I'm not exactly sure who made it. It's basically a female singer covering God's Gonna Cut You Down from Johnny Cash, right? Or Run On for a Long Time. What's the title of that song?
I think pretty sure it's God's Gonna Cut You Down, and I'm pretty sure it's the Dark Country.
Yeah, God's Gonna Cut You Down, which I think is just the perfect intro for this show. We have really nice style. I've been working with some people doing Blender animation work for us for that intro. Also, I'm thinking of having an outro, which is a bit of a reference to some of the animated shows that are our inspiration. So in terms of audio, I think we'll be seeing a lot of like guitar strings, country rock. That's sort of what we feel is best for the Divided States.
We talked a bit about how we took inspiration from The Last of Us and their guitar soundtrack. If we could, maybe we can convince Lucas to play a few tracks for us as well, perhaps.
Well, Douglas has got guitars too, man.
Oh, that's actually
yeah.
I
I got two Squires and a guitar and a cheap Martin, but yeah.
Maybe I could do something. Maybe.
we do create original music, actually. As you guys know, we have already made a full album called The Divided States, which serves as the original soundtrack for this show. If you Google The Divided States, you will see that album's been out for quite some time. We've collaborated with several musicians both on and off YouTube who've done great work for us. Amy actually also sings the title tracks of the trailer, which I think is really cool to have a voice actress who does both voice the main character and is also the singer of the lead title track. So we have the main character singing that track. I'm definitely looking forward, Lucas, to sort of that. I think you and Amy have a lot of chemistry. Have you worked together before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've done a lot of projects together, commercial projects and educational projects and dramatic projects. So yeah, we've got we're just like gangbusters, me and Amy.
Yeah, I think it's great that you guys, because Amy recommended you for this role specifically. I think when we first started talking about Amy about the idea of doing an animatic show with one of these characters she'd already recorded videos with, and then she said you should reach out to Lucas. I think he does really good voice, and then you specifically for the auditions were pretty much an immediate lock. I think that we 100% felt that you were Paul Sawyer, and then we actually invited you to the auditions as well to be like the keystone to which other actors can sort of feel what that character is, and then most scenes involve Sawyer in some capacity, so we can see how these characters are doing with Sawyer. And I think it gave us a really good idea.
And it was very it was a tough audition. Jerome and Brendan did incredible work, but the competition was so tough. I've got no idea, I've got some idea how difficult the choices you made must have been, but like Jerome and Brendan just bang, bang, bang. So that was
We
Very
had
kind
over
of you.
200 auditions, didn't we, in total? For
200, yeah. About 200 and 150 for the live action. We spent a lot of time actually just doing auditions the past 2 months, especially sort of the late spring area, where we were both writing up auditions for this animated series as well as doing the live auditions. That was also Zoom call because of the COVID pandemic for the live action show. But anyhow, guys.
So the spreadsheet was big.
Yeah, it was really, really massive. Now the good thing is that we even the people that did not make it into this first casting, we kept a lot of them on the list because a lot of them have very specific talents that we're very interested in and we want to do something. For example, there's Gian, who originally auditioned for Albert Brandsteiner. I did not feel he was right for that role, but he is also a singer. He's an Italian singer, and we were thinking of doing a Bella Ciao cover with him. You guys know Bella Ciao, the Partisan song? And I think for that he's going to be a great fit for the channel, as well as he will return as a character, an Italian character, a bit later in the show. So I'm definitely looking forward of you'll be seeing a lot of those people in the auditions that are not part of the first casting return as side characters in the future episodes. It's 26 episodes, guys. It's going to be a really long show, so we all better strap in. It's going to be a lot of work. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've got the Christmas cheer because Santa has brought me the animated trailer and a wonderful cast of actors and crew to work with to create an original animated series with. All right, This brings us to the end of our live stream for today, guys. If you have any final questions, you can ask them to me now. I'm going to thank everyone for joining me tonight. I want to thank you all for taking a bit of time out of your day on the second day of Christmas. This is the second day of Christmas, right?
Yeah.
That's the 25th, right?
27th.
27th, yeah.
It's the 27th in Europe.
It's 27th for me.
So thank you all for taking some time out of your day. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone in the February. We will contact you for the table read of the first few episodes, which will also be a live stream. Oh, we got another PHP. I don't even know what currency that is, but thank you.
I believe that's pesos, Filipino pesos. I believe
right.
so.
So thank you, Adam, for the PHP donation. Will any of the family members make an appearance cameo in the mod? No. So we do not write Kaiserreich mod canon. Like we base ourselves off. It goes the other way, right? So we base ourselves off the mod canon. The things from the show that you might see in the mod is where I've recently sent all the art we made for the animatic to the mod team, and they're going over it right now and seeing which ones could maybe work as loading screens, and they might get colorized and then appear in future versions of the mod. So we have a lot of these, as you can see in the trailer. We have a lot of really cool scenes of environmental scenes, destroyed cities, the cast moving through sort of the large landscapes of the American interior. We will be seeing that in the mod, maybe as loading screens. Anyhow, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I will be in touch January, February, and then we will start our table read. And so let's make a show, guys.
Fantastic, thanks everyone. I know there's
everybody.
I know the character I'm playing is popular, and there's a lot of expectation therefore. I want to assure everyone that I'm going to bring my absolute A game, and I look forward to bringing some flesh to the bones of the character, voice-wise, and hopefully become the Christopher Reeve, the man of Sawyer.
The Lucas Webley will be one of I think you and Amy have the most screen time, probably. Amy also because she plays 2 roles. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you guys work together again, the old dynamic duo back in action on a whole series. Alright guys.
Audience, it's a privilege and a pleasure.
Definitely. So thank you all. I'm going to cut the Zoom call here. For the live stream audience, we are going to give the trailer one last watch, and then we are going to call it a night because it's 0:45 in Europe. So thank you all.
It's nearly 8 o'clock in the morning for me.
Right in time for breakfast. Douglas is always
finished my breakfast.
Yeah, Douglas is always like a day ahead of us. He's somewhere next week. We're not even sure. He lives in the time bubble.
Maybe it's New Year's already. I don't know.
All right, guys. I'm going to cut the Zoom room. Thank you all for joining, and happy holidays. See ya.
Ready?
Happy holidays.
Thank you all. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that was our cast and crew. Let us now give one final look at that trailer, and then we will call that live stream quits for today. Thank you all for joining me, and happy holidays. Here is the trailer for the Divided States animated series.
For some German bomb?
These are the only plans outside the Kaiserreich. This weapon will change everything. We can restore the balance of power.
Whatever is left of the government is in LA. That's a 3,000-mile drive through a war zone. This is a suicide mission. We'll never make it.
We have to make it.
Crisis in Wall Street as widespread economic collapse grips the eastern states. New York enters its 3rd week of riots and burning. National Guard troops have been sent in. Nationalist marches have gripped the South as several states threaten to declare independence from a failing union.
Why go through all this trouble to rescue this crowd scientist? Why not turn him into the syndicates?
The syndicates can't have this weapon. I believed in the revolution. I believed the propaganda, the lies, and it cost me everything I held dear. I failed to see the monster we were creating. I was blind. We all were.
Suspected anarchist bombing of the Chicago Board of Trade has left the building with extensive damage. The National Field last-ditch offensive has led to a military takeover. State of emergency declared by a Congress held at gunpoint.
What the hell happened here?
The Germans happened.
What are the Germans doing in Louisiana?
We invited them. Peace and stability in the region, they called it. An expeditionary force. Legion Raven. You two need to realize, once the Germans find out we have their bomb, they will hunt us down. They will chase us to the ends of the earth. They will stop at nothing. The Raven Legion is ruthless.
Government troops soundly defeated. The syndicates have seized Chicago and declared the combined syndicate states. Chairman Reed has declared open war against the Union.
All this death for some German bomb?
This is not just any bomb, Emily. I was there. This weapon will change everything.
You have no idea what I've lost.
Everyone has lost people, Emily. You're not the only one who is entitled to pain.
Washington has fallen. A complete breakdown of the central authority in the United States seems inevitable as state
Brothers and sisters, do not believe the lies that you are told on the news. We can still cleanse America. We will cast down this republic of sin and win the Second American Civil War.
Will you be a lousy scab, or will you be a man?